Status. Good afternoon, students. So far in last classes we have to complete it. That is the unit 1 and unit 2. So the basic concepts of data warehousing and data mining and data pre-processing. So these are the concepts you have to complete in first and second unit. In the third unit, mainly you have to discuss with that regarding to the data mining. So here, data mining you can do with the knowledgeable workers on. Here, you can classify how classify the data and how to predict the data. What you require, that information you have to retrieve with based on that given data. So here, how to classify the data? What is the classification? What is the prediction? And what are the major issues regarding to the classification and prediction? And classification by the DTI or decision tree induction, Bayesian classification, rule-based classification. The types of the classifications, Bayesian and rule-based classification, and a classification by the back propagation. So here we have to see what is the classification. So now you have to check it out. What is the classification and how to differentiate with the prediction. So first one is the classification. Simply you can say that it predicts the categorical class tables or either discrete or normal. So here generally whatever the data you have to retrieving from the data sources, the data you have to arrange it into the data warehouse. That data you have to classify by using these classification methods. Classify the data based on the training set and the values in a classifying attribute and uses its classifying new data. Classifying new data, how you can classify it? Whatever the data you have to retrieve from the data warehouse, the data you have to classify it, you are using the various methods. Bayesian classification method, Bayesian classification method, we have to use it here. And the real rule-based classification methods, you have to use it here. And the next one is the prediction. So whatever the data have to retrieving, we have to classify it with the classification methods. But now, whenever you have to discuss with the prediction, here you can use the different types of continuous value functions you have to use. So here, simply you can predicting the unknown or missing values. For example, before the data pre-processing, you have to use the data cleaning. In the data cleaning process, you know we have the missing values in various databases. So that missing values we have to so here the continuous valued functions you have to use, that is the missing values. That missing values have to fill with the exact predicated value. So that is simply call it as prediction. So here, what type of applications we have to use in the classification and prediction? Typical application: credit card approvals, target marketing, medical diagnosis, fraud detection. So, for example, here we have to take the medical diagnosis. Previously, a person have some problem with that health issues. So, based on that health issues, he may write the appropriate prescription we have to write. So this is the way we have to medical diagnosis. And similar way, in the credit card approval, what are the previous, what are the, for example, you want to approve the particular credit card for the particular person. So you may check the previous history of that particular person of the credit history. Based on that, you can approve that credit card. Similar way, marketing. So that targeting marketing, for example, he may complete the targets. So you give more targets for that person. He not completed the targets, you give the less targets. So based on that, you have to diagnose the data, and you have maybe uh, process that particular application. So similar way, fraud detections. So a particular account to do the fraud detections, you may get the complaints on that on that you may get the fraud detection. A particular bank account you have to consider. In that bank account, continuously you get the complaint on that particular account. That means you can identify it is a fraud account because of other people are doing frauds through this account. That is the way you have to identify. That is the fraud detection. That is you have to classify and prediction with this application. So model classification is generally you have to two-step process. First one is the model construction, and second one is the model usage. First one is the model construction. How we can construct the model? Describing a set of predetermined classes, and each tuple or sample is assumed to belong to a predefined class as determined by the class label attribute. So for example, you have to take employee record, employee table. Employee table, we have the employee name, employee salary. So that is the class label with the attribute. The set of tuples used by model construction is training set. The model is represented as classification rules, decision trees, and mathematical formulas you have to use. So whenever you want to create a particular data set, that time you must be specify the rules like primary keys. So only for the particular employee ID is a unique ID. So that is the one rule you have to represent it. That is regarding to this model construction. Next one, model usage. So first data set you have to construct it. That data set you have to use it in other application. That is simply you can use the model usage. Similar way here, the data you have to classify it. First, the data you have to classify it in the model. Then after, usage for classifying future or unknown objects, estimate the accuracy of the model, and the known label is test sample is compared with the classified result from the model. Accuracy rate is the percentage of the test set samples that are correctly classified by the model. So test set is independent of training set, otherwise overfitting will occur. So if the accuracy is acceptable, use the model to classify the data tuples whose class labels are not. So here, first one is the model construction, second one is the model usage. So first one, how we can, this is a classify process, two-step process. First, you are creating the table, then that table you have to using in application. So similar manner here, the data set, you have to represent it as model construction. Then that data set you have to use it in model. That is the model usage. So accuracy you can use in that, that is estimates the accuracy of the model. See here, this is the model construction, how we can construct the model. This is the training data set, and what is the name, rank, and years, and tenure. So here, the classifier algorithms, by using the classifier algorithm, if the rank is professor or greater than years or greater than 6, then turn to S. Turn to S. Otherwise, no. So see here, here the professor is no one is the professor. Here only Bill is the name with the rank of professor, and he may have the 2 years experience. That means it is a then turn to no. Similarly, remaining all ranks are assistant and associate professors. And also, if the rank is professor, here you have to write the whenever you have to see this schema. In that schema, here you have to use whenever you are using the if the rank is professor and years are greater than 60, then turn to S. Here we can use the or, what it represents as either greater than 6 years or professors. Either greater than 6 years or professors, then turn to S. Clear? So based on that the schema, now rank is, who is the rank is professor. That's the reason you have to, because this is the turn to S. And who are the faculty have the more than 6 years, that they turn you to S. So years are greater than 6 years. Here also greater than 6 years. So you have the 6 years, but you get the turn to no. So this is the way, by using this classifier algorithm, we can turn to S or no. Next one. Second one, using model in prediction. In prediction process, first one, testing the data, you have to consider that. From that testing data, what are the data set you have? Tom and Mary Lisa, George and Joseph. Those employees in ranks are assistant, associate, professor, and assistant professors. So their years experience of those people, 2 years, 7 years, 5 years, and 7 years. So here we have to apply the classifier. We have to consider who is the associate professor, tenure to S. So here Jeff is a professor, tenure to S. So he is the more greater than 6 years. So he will be tenure to S. Okay, clear? Marilisa, actually the years he may have experience on 7 years. You want to is tenure to actually no is there. You have to convert it into S. by using this mode on prediction. Next one is the supervised and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning are simply called as classification. Unsupervised learning is called clustering. Supervision, the training data, observations, measurements, and so on are accompanied by labels indicating the class of the observations. New data is classified based on the training set. So supervision always you have to classify basing on its observations. Second one, unsupervised learning is simply called as clustering. The class labels of training data is unknown, but whereas known data you have to supervise it in classification. But whereas here unknown data you have to unsupervise. That is the class labels of training data is unknown. A given set of measurements observations with the aim of establishing the existence of classes or clusters in the data. So that is regarding to the classification and prediction. And the next one is what are the issues regarding to the classification and prediction. So here in data preparation, we have the number of issues are there. So the first one is already we have to discuss it in the data pre-processing. So whenever you want to implement the data warehouse, you must do the data pre-processing. In the data pre-processing, what are the methods you have to? First one is data cleaning, data integration, data reduction, data transformation, and discretization. These are the four methods we have to use. Four tasks you have to use. So here also similar problem will be raised in data preparation, data cleaning. Pre-process data in order to reduce noise, handle the missing values. So that is the data preparation. That is the data cleaning. And second one is the relevance analysis. That is the feature selection. Remove the equivalent and redundant attribute. Data transformation, generalize and normalize the data. So whatever the data pre-processing techniques you have to use, here also you can, these are the major issues. So actually you have the 1,000 records, but you don't want to take all 1,000 records. Only you have to take in a few records only. So some of the data is not filled with that people. So you don't want to consider the type of data. So that is the major issues we have to address in data mining. Evaluating the classification types. So whenever the issues we have to classify accuracy. The classifier accuracy, predicting the class label and predict the accuracy and guessing value of the predicted attributes. Second one is the speed and the time to construct the model. Time to use the model, classification and prediction time. So accuracy and speed and robustness, scalability, interpretability, and other measures. So these are all things we have to evaluation process of the classification method. These are the issues will be raised. So accuracy. Accuracy means, for example, we have to take all 1,000 records. We have to take in the average of the salaries. So some of the people are not filled with that salary. So you don't want to get here. You don't get the accuracy. So you have to remove those fields and you can store in the data warehouse. So how we can improve the data? These are the accuracy factor. Accuracy is not you don't have the accuracy. So here we have to classify the accuracy by predicting the class labels and predicting the accuracy, guessing the value of predicted. And particularly guessing value have to be inserted over there in salary attribute of the particular record. So that is the predicted accuracy. And the classifier accuracy means predicting the class label. Okay. Some of the people are not filled with a particular attribute, like employee DA. So that particular record you don't have predict, that is a attribute is required. So that is the predicting the class label. And the speed, time to construct the model, that is the training time, and time to use the model, classification and prediction time. And the robustness, handling the noise and missing values, scalability and efficiency in disk resident databases, and interoperability and interpretability, understanding the insight provided by the model, other measures, goodness of the rules and such a decision tree size, a compactness of classification tools. For example, you have to see a particular data set or a table you want to create. So what is the size of each attribute, and what is the range of that attributes? These all things you have to specify. Similar way, here, whenever you want to classify the data, so that the data is all are the data you have to want to evaluate is the accuracy, speed, robustness, scalability, and interoperability. So these all things must be obey that data set. And a classification by the decision tree induction. In the classification of the decision tree induction, see here, this diagram will shows this follows an example of Quillan's ID3 playing tennis. So who are the less than 30? Income is high, and student no. Credit rating fair and excellent, and buys a computer, yes or no. So this is the training data set for the particular information Quillan's ID. So here, based on this data, we have to decision tree induction. So here you can write the decision tree. First, based on that age. So age is less than 30, in between the 31 to 40, and greater than 40. Is a student or no? We can represent it no or S. And if the age is S, and credit rating is excellent or no. So here you can represent it here, student no and student S. And if age is 31 to 40, income is S. Always S, you have to represent it here. 31 to 40 is always the bias computer is S. Here also S. Here also S. Here also S. So that's the reason you can represent it here S. If the student is no, here check student no, he may not buy the computer. Some of the people, he is the student S, but he can buy the computer. So see here, this is the student no, this is the student no, but he buy the computer. Here you have to see, he may buy the computer. Clear? So by this way, you have to implement the decision tree. Decision tree we have to construct it here. See here, this decision tree represent the buyer or for the buyer's computer. Yes or no? So here less than 30, in between the 31 to 40, and greater than 40. So less than 30, student is no or yes. No, I think always may not buy the computers. But if the students are yes, so you may buy the computer. In 31 to 40, always buy the computer. But greater than 40, who are the grade rating excellent? They don't want to buy the computer, and credit rating is fair. Those people are buy the computers. So where you have the S, that represents S to buy the computer. This is the way you have to implement the decision tree. Algorithm for the decision tree induction. The basic algorithm here you can use the greedy algorithm. A tree is constructed in top-down recursive divide and conquer manner. At start, all training examples are at the root. Attributes are categorical. If continuous is valued, they are discretized in advance. Examples are partitioned recursively based on that selected attributes. Test attributes are selected on the basis of heuristic or statistical method. That is the information gain you have to with this basic algorithm, that is the greedy algorithm. What are the conditions on stopping the partitioning? All examples are given now belong to the same class. There are no remaining attributes for further partitioning. Majority voting is employed for the classifying the leaf. There are no examples, no samples are left. See here, in algorithm, completely related to the how we can retrieve the data related to the bias computer. So this is the decision tree induction. So attribute selection measure, that is the information gain, that is the ID3. So by using these formulas, you can gain that information. Select the attribute with the highest information gain. That P of I is the property that attribute tuple in D belongs to the class I estimated by C of ID by divided by D. Expected information entropy needed to classify a tuple in D. Information D equal to minus of summation of 1 to m. That is the P of I log 2 of P of I. Then information needed after using A to split D into V partitions to classify the D. Information D is equal to summation of 1 to V D of J by D into I of Dj. So here this is the way easily you can needed the information. Expected information, needed information, and information gained by branching an attribute A, gain A equal to information A D minus information of A D. That is simply call it as information gained is equal to information, expected information minus information needed. Clear? This is regarding to that attribute selection measure for the information gain. So this is the example for that information gain. This is the class P and class N. Buys the computer, yes or no. So here information D, I of 9 comma 5 minus 9 by 14 log 2 9 by 2 minus 5 by 14 log 2 5 by 14. You get the information D value is 0.940. Information A is of D 5 by 14 I of 22 comma 3 4 by 14 I comma 4 comma 0 plus 5 by 14 I of 3 comma 2. So you get the value 0.694. So now you can gain the information that is the 0.940 minus 0.694 is equal to 0.246. So this is the way information gain for this given data. A gain of the income, gain of the student, gain of the credit rate. Okay. This is regarding to this attribute selection information. So in next class, we'll continue the information about this attribute selection of information gain. Up to now you have to complete it. In next class, we'll continue the computing information gain for the continuing the valued attributes. Okay, gain ratio, attribute selection, that is the Gini index. We'll continue in next class. Can wait for a few minutes.